President Trump had ignored requests for comment about the senator. 3 different events yesterday morning and afternoon at the White House. Let me just play you a little of that.
Mr. President, do you have any thoughts on John McCain? Do you have any thoughts at all about John McCain? Do you believe John McCain was a hero, sir? Nothing at all about John McCain. Okay. Mr. President, the American Legion has asked you to lower the flags to half staff. Any reaction to the American Legion?
Thank you. It's over.
Any action to the American Legion asking you to put a proclamation about John McCain?
We're going that way, John Carl.
Why won't you say anything about John McCain?
Going that way.
Caitlin Huey Burns, he wouldn't say anything about John McCain. Do we know anything about what led to ultimately him at least seemed to be reading a brief statement about John McCain later in the day?
48 hours after the senator's death. And remember that the senator's family released a statement on Friday saying he was ending treatment. So the White House had ample time to prepare for this. And this is representative, of course, of that longstanding grudge that the president has with this. There have been reports that many people in the White House were upset with this and wanted, of course, the news coverage yesterday was all about Trump's refusal at that point to lower the flags or say anything in his honor. And the narrative was becoming, the story was becoming about Trump, which is, even in this day and age, remarkable and
this is no surprise to anybody. This is a long-standing feud that these two men have had, and yet when one of them is in his final days and then dies, then you would like to think that what has happened in the past with presidents of both sides is that they are the leader when a country, clearly as they are now, is in mourning. It's worth reminding folks what President Trump has said about Senator McCain in the past. Listen.
The way Trump looks at it, he's at least better than everyone else in the race, beginning with John McCain.
A little bit. I mean, he was captured.
And he flew combat missions.
Does being captured make you a hero? I don't know. I'm not sure.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
Governor, does the statement that the president made last night make sense to you? Is it inconsistent, or is it something that, thank God, he finally did it?
Well, it's thank God he finally did it. It was obvious he was dragged kicking and screaming, and I agree with what Caitlin said. I think it was General Kelly, as chief of staff, that moved him to finally do it. And
Lindsey Graham actually on the Today Show kind of indicated how great John Kelly has been to the family, calling them, offering them whatever assistance they wanted, that relationship, the sort of the White House relationship, has been very good and very respectful.
That's right. And I think a lot of the staff, the White House, has been very respectful and responsive. But this is a story because McCain is a national treasure. This is going to be memorials in the Capitol, in the White House, in Arizona. This is going to be another week. And if the president hadn't diffused it somewhat, I think it's diffused, but it's still going to be out there, it would have been the major narrative. And, the thing about John McCain, I mean, he is a great icon. My very brief remembrance of him, we were adjoining lawmakers, was his great temper. He used to get mad so easily. We were at an Indian parade once. I got ahead of him. I thought he was going to take my head off. But that's what made him so competitive, so great. He was somebody that really stood up for our values. And, I think the president's remarks were gracious, but it was about time. You should just put aside these grudges.
I mentioned that his very, very, very close friend Lindsey Graham was on the Today Show this morning, and he said, it's the president's right to feel any way he wants to about John McCain. But Senator Graham was also asked about another strained relationship that has been very much in public. That's between President Trump and his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. He said something really fascinating. Take a listen to this.
This relationship is beyond repair, I think.
But Senator Graham, I mean, the only beef the president seems to have against him is that he's not going to get rid of the investigation into President
Let
Trump.
me finish the second part. It's much deeper than that.
What else? What are we missing?
Well, we won't say on this show, but it's a pretty deep breach. And here's what I'm suggesting, that he's not the only man in the country that can be Attorney General.
A pretty deep breach. Caitlin, has there been talk about this? Do you have any idea what he might be referencing here?
Interestingly, last week when Graham was asked about this on Capitol Hill, he was saying that Sessions might be ousted after the election, after the midterms. The president has obviously expressed his frustration with Jeff Sessions over months and months and months, but yet every time the White House is asked whether the president still has confidence in his attorney general, they say that there are no announcements to make at this time. There is a question about how long this can go on, but you are hearing from a very defiant Jeff Sessions issuing that statement last week that was very striking. You've also had Rod Rosenstein out there in public expressing confidence in the Mueller investigation. So I'm waiting to see what the reaction is among Republicans who have often said that they won't have the appetite to confirm someone in his place, and that this would create somewhat of a real political crisis for this
president.
president.
I think the hesitation, Chris, is that the Senate won't confirm anybody other than Sessions. I think they don't have time. They don't want to go through it. He's an ex-senator. So the president's kind of in a box. And I think what he's hoping for is that Sessions on his own resign, and he's not going to do it.
Like she said, that statement very clearly. I'm in charge. I've been in charge since day one. Okay.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.